Hey, it's Jose here, and I just wanted to let you know that if you have a message to share, I want to tell you about Anchor. It is free and it is an easy way to create a podcast for you to share that message. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. There are certain creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And most importantly, you can get your message out to the world and impact the lives that you were created to impact. Download Anchor right now. My name is Jose Vargas, and I am on a mission to help you create breakthroughs in your personal and professional life so that you can grow and lead your life with excellence. Welcome everyone to the Jose Vargas Show. I am your host, Jose Vargas. It is an honor to be talking to you today. Thank you so much for listening. Listen, as you know, my goal for this podcast, for this show, is to awaken, to equip, and to empower you to become a leader worth following. And so again, I want to thank you for joining me this week. And I'm excited about today's topic because what we're going to be talking about today is a topic that really will make a difference in your life, in every aspect of your life. Listen, in a loud world that we're living in, where dings and tweets are constantly interrupting your everyday life, this practice that I'm going to share with you in this episode is critical to your leadership and your life. And it will help you become more effective as you go about your journey, more productive and more mentally and emotionally healthy as well. And it is something that I try to practice and I want to share with you. So before we get started, I want to share a few things with you as I am continuing to grow, as you all know, with this podcast. I want to try something different at the end of this episode, so make sure you stick around and I want you to listen to it and I want you to let me know what you think. Message me, follow me on Instagram or Facebook. On Instagram, I am at Reach Higher Now, or on Facebook under Jose Vargas or Reaching Higher Now. Or you can find me at reachinghighernow.com, where I have a couple free resources for you if you're interested. Go to reachinghighernow.com, scroll to the middle of the page. There's 2 free resources. One that is going to help you plan out your day-to-day life and keep you focused. It's a planner that I created for myself, really, but I like it so much and I want to give it to you for free. So you can go on the website reachinghighernow.com and download it. I'm going to talk about it a little later on as well. It's absolutely free. But today I want to talk to you in this specific podcast episode on the power of reflecting. And this is what I'm talking about, that it's going to help you become more effective, more productive, and more mentally, emotionally healthy as well. The power of reflecting. Richard Bach said this. He said, "A tiny change today brings a dramatically different tomorrow." A tiny change today brings a dramatically different tomorrow. And to that, I say amen. And I also want to add to that, the way to know what tiny changes to make in this process and the practice of reflecting. Or let me just say this. In order to know what tiny changes to make is this process that we're getting ready to talk about of practicing the art of reflecting. So what is it? Let's define this a little bit. Here's my definition of reflecting, right? Reflecting is thinking about what you do, have done, or will do. That's how simple it is. Reflecting is thinking about what you do, have done, or will do. So reflecting goes a bit deeper than just thinking, right? All of us think. We process information, so much information. We have so much information in this world to process, right? But if something happens at work, for example, you think about it the whole way home. And sometimes you keep reliving the situation in your mind and you talk about it. I know you probably don't do this, but you probably start talking about it with yourself. So That's thinking, right? That's processing, that's thinking. But reflecting goes a little bit deeper. It is intentionally reflecting on your experiences to dissect the lessons that you can learn so that you can apply those lessons in the next situation. In other words, reflecting allows you to take hold of the moment and squeeze the lessons out of them, right? So reflecting then allows you to see what you can do differently. It allows you to plan for what's ahead, and it allows you to grow as an individual. And the reason you're listening to me today is because that is your goal, right? You want to continue to grow. You want to continue to develop so that you can continually impact and influence the people in your life. So what are some of these benefits of reflecting? We know what reflecting is now, at least my definition of it, right? And so what are some of the benefits of it? Reflecting does a couple things. Reflecting increases your self-awareness, right? So that you can understand yourself better. I am amazed at the people that I speak to that really have a limited understanding of themselves. So you always want to be learning and growing and understanding more about yourself, right? Your strengths, your weaknesses, what makes you excited, what makes you tick, what makes you move in a certain direction. If you understand yourself better, you can lead yourself better, which in turn will allow you to see and get the results that you want to get in life. So reflecting allows you to understand not only yourself, but it also allows you to understand others more deeply. And if you don't understand people, you cannot lead them effectively, because the saying and the quote, and I forgot who said it, I think it was John Maxwell, who says that people won't go along with you if they can't get along with you. And man, that is so on point and is so true. In order for you to be able to lead people effectively, you have to understand them, and they have to feel understood. Okay, but you can't understand people if you don't understand yourself. So all this works together. Reflecting then helps you to understand yourself and understand others. Reflecting helps you with creative thinking and creative action. So I've gotten my best sermons, my best talks, my best teaching, my best illustrations during times of reflection. It is when I get away and I begin to process the lessons that I'm learning through the experiences in my life and squeezing those lessons out of them, right? Reflecting. And so reflecting allows your creative juices to flow, so to speak. When you reflect and you take time out to reflect, you get ideas that you can apply to your life, both personally and professionally. Reflecting allows you to find solutions to the problems that you're facing today and to see what otherwise would have been missed. So reflection turns experiences into powerful lessons. Reflection helps you to become a better leader. Reflecting helps you to become more emotionally smarter. Reflecting allows you to change course and course correct in life. Reflecting helps give meaning to your experiences, right? Reflecting brings clarity. All these wonderful benefits of reflecting. Now, I'm a person of faith, as you guys know if you've been following me for some time. So reflecting allows me to see God at work in my life, in my situations, in my problems. And it reminds me to put my hope in Him, because He is the one who guides me. Now, that's my personal belief. But so that is what some of the benefits of reflection. Now, how do you reflect? How can I reflect? If you're listening to me, you're like, all right, cool, Jose, how do I begin to reflect? Now, one way to reflect is to write your thoughts in a journal. Now, by the way, like I said in the beginning of this episode, I have a free planner that you can download today and you can print it out and use it every morning to reflect and plan your day. Again, go to reachinghighernow.com and download it. Today's in the middle of the page there. But reflecting by writing your thoughts down, writing down, even if it's in one or two sentences, right, will allow you to express yourself. And it really forces you to express what you're feeling and those things that you're reflecting about. It allows you to expose those feelings, so to speak, and it allows you to show how you truly feel about what just happened or what is about to happen. So I encourage you to journal. I encourage you to write, and all journaling is literally writing one or two sentences down on a piece of paper or preferably a notebook. That's all it is, right? So another way to reflect is to ask yourself deep questions. Ask yourself deep questions. What happened? What happened? How did I respond to what just happened? How did this make me feel? These are just some questions. I'm giving you an example. What am I learning about what just happened? And what can I do differently? So ask yourself these deep questions. What happened? How did I respond? How did this make me feel? And what am I learning? And what can I do differently, if anything? And lastly, where do you reflect? So in order to be intentional about this, let me just say this. Reflection has to go from a casual thing to a common thing. It has to go from a casual thing to a common thing, meaning reflecting has to be a practice in our lives. It has to be a practice. It has to be something you and I do daily so that you can get all the benefits that I just mentioned. And here's what I suggest. Find a quiet place. Whether that is your living room before everyone wakes up, whether that is to go to the front porch, your backyard, your parked car, whatever it is, right? Find a place where you don't have the dings and the tweets to distract you. Find a place where it's quiet so that you can think clearly and really begin to process these questions. Number two, in this place, right? Find a place where you can not only, it's a quiet place, but a place that you can sit. A place that you can sit. Quiet your body, quiet your soul. And I must admit, this one is hard, especially for our time and our day and age where everything is moving so fast. But if you want to get the full benefits of this practice, you must still your body and discipline yourself to do this. And by the way, if you want to know more about how to build more discipline, check out podcast episode 29. I'll put it in the show notes description as well. But it is so critical and so important to not only find a quiet place, but be able to sit in this quiet place. And number three, set aside 5 to 10 minutes, if possible, to get started in this journey. You can put a timer on your phone or a clock if you have one, whatever it is. Put a timer on 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you have at your disposal, so that you can begin this practice. And you're going to begin to see the dramatic impact and effects that this is going to have on your life. Okay. So again, I remember, like I said earlier, I said I was going to share and do something a little differently in this podcast episode, and I want to do something different, and I'm going to do it now, right? I want to give you, I heard this from another person that I follow, and it's a tip of the week. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to give you a special guest that I'm going to, an audio clip that I'm going to find for you specifically about this subject. Okay, so let's listen in. I'll be back to close us off, so don't tune out. And make sure you listen to this tip, and I'll be back.
And while you're reflecting back on your past accomplishments, think about something else. Think about the potential within you that's still untapped. Consider these two questions during your time of reflection. Number one, what could I have achieved in the past had I been more diligent? Could I have been more disciplined? Worked smarter instead of harder? Said no more often to social functions, to community commitments? What could I have achieved in the past had I tried a little differently? Only you can answer this question. It's very personal. While you're reflecting and enjoying your plateau, all I'm asking is that you dig a little deeper and see if you can't be a bit more effective next time. Work a little smarter instead of a little harder. So that's question number one. What could I have achieved in the past if I tried a little more diligently? Now here's number two. How can I achieve more in the future? Well, if you take some quality time to thoughtfully answer question number one, you'll probably have a clue as to what's needed in the future. Do you need to work more diligently? Do you need to be more disciplined? Do you need to work smarter instead of harder? Do you need to say no more often? Do you need to manage your time better? That's one of the keys to reflection. You can put down on paper what worked for you in the past and figure out ways to translate this information into the future. You can design your better future if you can learn from your past. You can face your future with more excitement, more anticipation, when you design a future worth getting excited about. You can see your future and have it pull you, but don't forget to appreciate yourself for what you have done so far, for what you have done today.
That was the legendary Jim Rohn, who I absolutely love listening to. His voice, his stories, his anecdotes, his illustrations. But friends, let me go back to what I said at the beginning as we were wrapping up this particular episode. A tiny change today brings a dramatically different tomorrow. And my question for you to reflect on is this: what kind of tomorrow do you want to have? What kind of tomorrow do you want to have? And remember this: it takes time and it takes work. But together we can become a leader worth following. You don't have to remain stuck. You don't have to put up a front. But you can take actionable, practical steps to get breakthroughs and not just accept your life, but lead your life towards excellence and towards impact. Because isn't that what we want? We want to have impact in this world, and we want to impact the people in our lives. I want to thank you for joining me today. If you love this podcast episode, please share it with 2 other leaders in your life. Just share it with them right now. Just hit the share button, text it to them, tell them, hey, check this out, listen to it, and if you can, leave me a review. I'll see you soon.